Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in, like the new Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, which is such a powerful card. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card is an extremely powerful card that's our main combo piece for the deck to help us go in for all sorts of awesome plays, and even help us go in for some really cool fusion plays. We can play a single copy of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. I have bumped this card down to 1 in this build because it is searchable off your copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon, but it's still really good to be able to play in the deck. Basically reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand to special summon this card from your hand, and also it becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while in the field or in the graveyard. And once per turn, you can actually target a monster that your opponent controls and destroy it, but this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. And play a single copy of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon is really cool as a 1-of in the deck. Super easy to summon out to your side of the field, and actually one of my favorite Blue Eyes cards in the entire game. We can play a single copy of Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon is great in the deck as a 1-of to be able to search out the exact cards that you need, because if this card is special summoned, you can add a ritual spell or a polymerization from your deck to your hand, and also during your end phase, you can actually add a level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand, helping you search out the exact card that you need to go in for your fusion plays on the follow-up, or even searching out Chaos Max, which is amazing to instantly get your copy of Chaos Max. But the only downside of this card's effect is you can only activate it while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on the field or in the graveyard, which is not that big of a deal, but it's amazing to be able to use this card's effect to be able to get the exact cards that you need. Like a single copy of Chaos Max. Chaos Max is really cool to be able to play in the deck. It is a level 8 Dark Dragon monster. We can either summon it out no TK by doing double piercing damage, or we can actually use it to go in for Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, which is amazing to be able to do. We can play 2 copies of Dictator of D. Dictator of D is really good just as a 2-of in the build, because we do get locked into dragons in this deck quite a lot, which is why I'm just playing 2 copies in the build. And this card is the ability, while you control a Blue Eyes monster, you choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks, which gives you a little bit of protection for your copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lore. And this card also has the ability that you can send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, and also discard a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a card that mentions it, and then target a Blue Eyes monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is a great effect to help you bring back your monsters to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage with Eyes of Blue is great as a normal summon in the deck. As this card has the ability, when this card is normal summon, you can actually add a level 1 Light Tuner monster from your deck to your hand. And this card also lets you discard this card and target an effect monster that you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck to your side of the field, which is an amazing effect to get the exact Blue Eyes you need on the field. We then play 2 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. White Stone of Ancients is really good as a 2-of in the deck to be able to play. This card lets you once per turn during the end phase. If this card's in the grave, because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from the deck, which is an amazing effect to instantly get you a Blue Eyes on your side of the field. Like a single copy of the White Stone of Legend. White Stone of Legend is really good as a 1-of, because if this card does touch the grave, you get to add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to instantly get a Blue Eyes from your deck to your hand. You can play 3 copies of Darken Dragon. Darken is a walking polymerization that's super easy to summon to your side of the field. So all you have to do is banish a level 8 dragon monster from your X deck to special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except dragon monsters, which is how you actually get locked into dragons in this deck. This card also has a really cool effect that you can either use one of its 2 effects to either fusion summon a fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field, or target another attack position monster on the field, make this card lose exactly 500 attack and defense points, and if you do, destroy that monster. We then play two copies of Light End. Light End is really good as a 2-of in the build. This card helps out a lot in the build because it is a walking polymerization. But since we are playing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, and your copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lore requires a level 8 Light and a level 8 Dark Dragon monster, I feel like Dark End is a little more important in the deck as a 3-of opposed to Light End because we already play so many Light Dragons that are level 8 with all the different Blue Eyes monsters. So this card is a little bit less important opposed to the copy of Dark End to be able to summon to your side of the field for a fusion play, but it's still amazing to be able to play in the deck to help you go in for your fusion plays because it is a walking polymerization. We then play 3 copies of Lubellion. Lubellion is amazing in this deck because this card is a light level 8 dragon monster that can help us go in for a lot of really cool plays. This card lets us tribute a level 6 or higher dark dragon monster to be able to special summon this card from our hand to our graveyard. And also send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a bestial monster from your deck to your hand. And this card also lets you place a branded continuous spell or trap card from your deck face on your side of the field when this card's on your side of the field, which is an amazing effect to help you get to your copy of Branded Beast. We made a single copy of Magnemut. Magnemut is really good. Not all of your level 6 bestial monsters share a common effect, that you can actually target a light or dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. It's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster, which all of the level 6 bestial monsters share that common ability. This card's unique effect is if this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect that during the end phase this turn, add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great effect. You'll search out the exact card you need. We made a single copy of Druid Swarm just to be able to spot and remove cards off the field. This card helps out a lot in the deck. 1 copy of Saunier. Saunier is really good as well in the deck. I feel like you only need these 3 in the build, as this card is a super helpful 1-of in the deck to be able to send your copy of Regained from your deck to the graveyard, so you can basically put it back on your side of the field with your copy Beast during the end phase. We play a single copy of Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. This card is searchable off of Melody, which is why I play this card as a 1-of, plus it's a dark dragon that's super easy to summon in this deck. As it cannot be normal summon or set, it must be special summon from your hand or your extract by banishing a light and a dark monster from your graveyard, which is very easy to do in this build, but it is a dark level 8 dragon monster we can use to summon out our copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lore. We then play 2 copies of Assault Synchron. Assault Synchron is really cool to help us go in for our different synchro plays. By just taking 700 points of damage, we can instantly special summon this card to our side of the field. I did actually consider playing this card at 3 and playing Light End at 1 in the build, so we could basically summon this card out to our side of the field and go in for a copy to Spatter, which would be a really cool play. But I feel like 2 is really all you need in the deck. You could again play it at 3 by dropping a single copy of Light End in this build. We play a single copy of Effect Veiler. The reason I play a single copy of Effect Veiler is it is actually searchable in the deck off of your Sage with Eyes of Blue, as when Sage is normal summoned, you actually get to search out Effect Veiler directly from your deck to your hand because it is a light level 1 tuner. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Branded Regained. Branded Regained is really good as a 1-of in the build because if a light or dark monster is banished, except during the damage step, you can actually target one of those monsters, place that monster on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw a card, which is a really powerful ability. Also, once per turn, if your opponent normally special summons a monster, you can actually target a bestial monster in your graveyard and just special summon it to your side of the field, which is a great effect to instantly bring back a bestial to your side of the field. We play a single copy of Polymerization because it is searchable in this deck, but you only need a single copy in this build. We play a single copy of Ultimate Fusion. Ultimate Fusion helps us go for a lot of really cool plays, like going for a copy of Tyrant Dragon, which is a great boss monster to be able to make in this build. We play a single copy of Chaos Form. Chaos Form is really good as a 1-of in the deck to basically go for a copy of Chaos Max, which is an amazing thing to be able to do. You can actually banish a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the graveyard to be able to summon out your copy of Chaos Max, which is a great effect to instantly get out a 4,000 attack point monster that can basically swing in for game. Plus this card is searchable in the deck, which is why you just play a single copy. We then play 3 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In is definitely a 3-of in the build because we play so many level 8 dragons that this card is just a really powerful card to be able to play in the deck, that you just guard a level 8 monster to be able to draw 2 cards, which is really easy to be able to do in this deck. We play 3 copies of the Meli of Awakening Dragon. Melody is really good because you discard a card and then add up to 2 dragons with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to add the exact monsters you need from your deck to your hand off this card's effect. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing one, and that's going to be a single copy of Branded Beast. Branded Beast is really good as a 1-up to be able to place on your side of the field with your Lubellium. With this card, you have the ability to basically pop a card on the field, because once per turn during the main phase, eventually a bestial monster, you can treat a dragon to be able to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And also during the end phase, you can actually target a branded continuous spell or trap in the graveyard and place it face up on your field, meaning you can instantly place your copy of Regained that you send to the graveyard off Saunier's effect on your side of the field, which is an amazing ability to instantly get both those cards on the field. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with one of our main boss monsters of this deck, Light and Darkness Dragon Lore, which I actually pulled a QCR out for this actual profile, and if you guys would definitely give it a like, it would really help out. But this card is amazing, one of my favorite cards in the game now, because this card is a 3x negate, which is absolutely crazy. This card does require a level 8 Light Dragon plus a level 8 Dark Dragon monster to be able to make this card, and it must be fusion summoned, and while face up on the field, this card is a dark attribute monster as well. And once per chain, if a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, it is a mandatory effect to quick effect make this card lose exactly 1,000 attack and defense points, and if it does, negate the activation. But be careful about this card, because it is a mandatory effect to be able to actually negate. If anything is activated, it will be chain link 1, and then this card will immediately be chain link 2 to negate it, which is very important to realize about this card. Also, if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can actually target a dragon monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is a really cool effect to instantly bring back a dragon to your side of the field. I'm playing a single copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. This card is just super easy to help you OTK the opponent, and a really big boss monster that your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects, which is an amazing effect. And this card can also basically pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, and if you use a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon to make this card, you can actually pop 3 cards on the field, which is an amazing effect, but it cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, even if all you pop is 1. You can play a single copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card is an amazing OTK piece. It can actually attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, which is a really cool effect. It just requires a Blue Eyes White Dragon plus any dragon monster, which is great to be able to instantly get this card out on your side of the field. If you do have a copy of Light In plus a Blue Eyes, you can easily make this card, which is really cool. You play a single copy of Twin Burst Dragon. You don't even have to use polymerization to make this card. You can actually contact 2 Blue Eyes into this card, and this card is amazing to be able to make in the build to help you go in for game. Then a single copy of Borload Furious Dragon, which is one of the cards you want to send to the graveyard off of Light In or Dark In's effect, which is just a really good target, but also it's pretty good to be able to summon this card out to your side of the field just in case you need to, as once per turn you can actually target a monster that you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them, which is just a pretty good option. It does require 2 dragon monsters to make this card that are dark, but it's still a pretty good card to be able to make just in case you need to, but it's basically a target for the Light and Dark Dragon that's in the main deck to be able to send this card to the graveyard, as it also has the ability that you can actually use this card's effect in the graveyard, that you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Dark Link monster in the graveyard and special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. You can play a single copy of Dispatter. Dispatter is a great one in the deck, because it lets you target a banished light or dark monster and special summon it back to your side of the field. Plus, this card is a walking negate. 1 copy of Chaos Angel, which is one of the few monsters we play in this deck that's actually not a dragon. You don't even have to use a tuner to make this card. You contact basically synchron this card by using a light monster and a dark monster, or just 2 lights or 2 darks to be able to make this card, but you don't have to use a tuner, because you can treat one of the monsters as a tuner to make this card. And this card is amazing because it spot removes a card off the field when it is summoned to your side of the field, and it gains effects depending on what you use between light and dark. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is a great one-of in the build to be able to play, as this card makes it so neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, and also once per turn during the player's turn, when a card effect is activated in the graveyard, you can actually negate the activation, and during either player's turn, you can treat this card to be able to actually special summon a light dragon type synchro monster from your extract in defense position, except another copy of this card, but destroyed during the end phase of this turn. And then you summon out your copy of Azure Eyes, which is a great one-of to be able to play, play in the deck, because Azure Eyes is just so powerful that if this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters who currently control card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects, and once per turn during the standby phase, you target a normal monster in the graveyard and special summon it, meaning we summon back Blue Eyes White Dragon. I made a single copy of a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This card is very easy to make in the build because you play a lot of level 1 monsters in the deck, so you actually use your copy of your Black Rose Moonlight Dragon plus a level 1 tuner monster to make this card, which is actually how you make it, but you can also use this card with your copy of your Light and Darkness Dragon in the main deck to be able to send it to the grave because it is a level 8 dragon monster in the extra deck. You play a single copy of Excel Synchro. The reason you play Excel Synchro in this deck is because you can easily use your copy of Assault Synchron plus a level 6 Bestial monster to make this, bring back your copy of your Assault Synchron, and then once you do, you can step into Dispatter or one of your other monsters, which is very important. This card is very good in the deck as a 1-up because of Assault Synchron. With the latest single copy of Black Rose Moonlight, you might be looking at this card and going, how do we actually summon this card? You actually summon it off of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon's effect, and you use this card plus a level 1 tuner to make Crystal Wing, which is a walking negate, which is amazing, but this card basically just bounces level 5 or higher monsters, which is great. Latest single copy of SP Little Knight. I actually considered not playing this card in the deck, so you can change it out for a second copy of Erratic Seal. If you want to play a second copy of Erratic Seal, you can over this card, or any other fusion monster, but this card is pretty good in the deck to be able to make. I don't make it that often, but it's still pretty good as an option if you want to make it. But it's, again, you could change it out for a second copy of Erratic Seal. It's just a really good double interruption. We might have a single copy of Erratic Seal, which again, you could play 2 of this instead of the SP Little Knight, but it's really good to be able to play because it just bounces cards off the field. And also this card is basically full combo. We made a single copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is great to be able to play in the deck because it helps you link away the stones off your side of the field so you can get their effects to go off. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, including Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's really cool to be able to play, and I absolutely love this deck. And it's just such a cool deck to be able to play, to be able to summon out Light and Darkness Dragon Lord alongside Blue Eyes White Dragon, because when this card was originally announced, my first idea with this was to actually include it in a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. So I was going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.